Preview.
What it do? It's your friendly neighborhood point guard, chromeantennae, and we're back with another 2K20 video today. And I think today I'm going to do a full commentary because I have some things on my mind regarding this question of should full whites go in or not. So, I think there are 3 key points that we should touch on before we talk about any sort of gaming or games with any sort of competitive league or competitive aspect to it. Like Minecraft, for example, is not competitive. By the way, I've been playing and streaming more Minecraft, so I'll have my Twitch link down below. I'll be streaming Minecraft here soon. More Minecraft streams to come. I'm probably going to be streaming only that and FIFA since I can't stream 2K because my internet has been kicking my ass. But anyways, so 3 things we want to touch on before, when we talk about competitive gaming in general is 1, most gamers who play competitive video games are not actually competitive game players. I would say about 60 to 75% of the community are, generally speaking, non-competitive players. Okay? And this is coming from someone who considers himself competitive. Maybe not the best on the planet, maybe not the most comp, but someone who is very competitive and plays in the competitive scene. Both stage and pro-am, right? Number 2, when you talk about skill gaps, we shouldn't be speaking. When we talk about sport game simulation skill gaps, so that goes like for Madden, FIFA, 2K, whatever, right? And I can't speak for Madden because I haven't played Madden in years. But what I can say is this: you have to attribute skill gaps and differentiations not with their real life counterparts, but their esports counterparts. So, for example, Overwatch or Halo or fucking Brawlhalla, whatever, right? Those games have a very distinct skill gap where you can separate the super sweats from little Johnny who's playing at 4 in the morning because he's bored and he can't sleep. You feel me? So that's another thing. And 3, be careful what you wish for. Because when you talk about, okay, so the whole theory, right, is that, or the whole idea now that's being talked about on Twitter, YouTube, and 2K communities is, oh, we can't have full whites go in at all. It sounds good until you've been blessed and you're used to hitting full whites for game. And then you get mad when you can't finish a game off because you just cannot hit a green. And another thing with that, you like it until a full white layup goes in. You feel me? So where do we start balancing how the game is played? Full whites aren't the problem. They become the problem when you don't know what a full white really is and what a full white is supposed to look like. You understand what I'm saying? Because a 75% white bar is not a full bar. People consider that to be full. That's not full. You don't know your jumper. You feel me? And then close shots are broken, hook shots are broken, post fades are broken, post hop fades are broken. And so when you talk about different aspects of the game and you only minimize it to shooting, like jump shooting, you have other parts of the game that are still broken. When a hop step can paralyze you and someone make a early layup, that's broken with the game. Oh, here's another problem. When you don't know what layup you're going to get, you can't time your layup. So if we're only considering jump shot timing, are we removing timer from layups? Or are we going to get more consistent animations with layup animations? So where do you make the separation? So I don't have a solution necessarily. This is just me posing questions to people who say, oh, only green should go in. Well, again, I'm going to ask this one more time just to sort of emphasize the point. What about layups? What about post fades? What about post hooks? What about post shimmy fades? What about post hops? What about hop step jumpers? What about pull ups? And where are the rating designations to decide what's greenable and what's not? And so if we're going fully green, right? No whites go in. Should attributes even matter anymore? And so if I have a pure lock, right? And I can manage to green 60% of my threes with a 53 ball, with a smaller green window, mind you, that guy's pretty skillful, I would imagine, right? He's able to knock down most of his shots with a smaller green window, a smaller attribute point designation, right? And can still shoot consistently. Shouldn't that guy get rewarded more than a person with a 90-down 3-ball who can only green 55% of his shots? Because to me, to be able to do more with less is even more skillful than someone who can do something than with a character that's meant to do that thing. You feel me? So, for example, when we talk about the best shooters, let's say in a Discord, right? It's like, I'm not being funny here. I'm a part of Aussie Live TV's Discord. And we often have this conversation, who's the best shooter? Well, context matters, right? And so, when we're talking about who's the best or who can shoot the best, to me, players with green in their pie chart oftentimes don't get considered for that title because they have a build that's meant to do that thing. You see what I'm saying? And so people that are yellow, or yellow and red, or blue and yellow, or all whatever the case is, right, tend to get even more credit for being able to shoot at a high level, at a high volume, without Hall of Fame range, hot zone hunter, and things like that, to sort of give them additional boosts and coverage for their jump shooting acumen, whether they have it or not, right? So, where do we make separations, and where do we create balance between competitive gaming and casual gaming? And because again, this is coming from a competitive player standpoint. I've spent money to play the game at a high level. I've made money playing the game at a high level. I've gone out of my way to play in tournaments. As y'all know, I played in Texas Ticket last year. I am fully committed and into the comp scene. You'd be out of your ever-loving mind if you think that the game is catered to comp players and not casual players. Okay? My next door neighbor, who's played 2,000 park games, for example, I don't know, this is just a story, brother. This is not real. This is fictional. Who's played 2,000 park games with a 40% win percentage is more important than the guy who's played 5,000 park games with an 85. Because that kid has friends who play 2K, who has friends who play 2K, who have more friends that play 2K, and they all suck at the game. And the thing is, we shouldn't even say they suck. These are just regular people doing regular things playing the game, trying to enjoy this and have fun. It shouldn't be about me or the Ducks or the Dirks or the Ramos of the world. Those guys are the highest of the high end and should have game modes separate to them, right? And again, another question is, where do you draw the line between competitive and casual? So if Park is the casual game mode, right, and Stage or 3v3 Pro-Am are the steps above regular Park, right? What do those sliders look like? Do we have access to know what those sliders are? And again, how do we understand the game better to create a better, more playable experience? I don't know if people remember this, but back when 2K20 first dropped, you could do park landings and playground layups, like the fancy jelly-ass layups in Rec. Who says we can't have that back? Who says Rec can't be the casual 5v5 mode, you feel me? And have Pro-Am where you gotta be perfect, where you gotta super sweat to be able to be successful. Because I am not opposed to only greens going in. But not every jump shot in the league, in the NBA, right, is a perfect release. A lot of jump shots are rattling home, you feel me? So how do you create an experience that looks realistic, that feels realistic, and that is believable, right? The experience is believable. Or, on the other hand, if full whites exist, we understand what those are. So those 50-50 dice rolls don't feel so damn random. Because I've lost to guys who have shot 6 for 8 on whites. Just like I've lost to guys who have shot 3 for 4 on whites, and that 1 3 that they hit for game just happens to be green. You understand what I'm saying? And so it makes the game feel random as fuck. And it makes the game feel like you don't know what you're doing half the time. And this is someone who knows what he's doing. So again, I don't have solutions. I have questions. How do you balance slashing? How do you balance shooting? What's a jump shot? How do you shoot a jump shot? Like seriously, like a close shot fade baseline is a jumper on 2K, but a layup because it activates cross key score, difficult shots, hot start, and these are all different things that lend themselves to not just layup making, but jump shooting, right? Like Tyler Shooter is a badge that only works for jump shots, and apparently post fades. Like what? Or Hot Zone Hunter, and let's say, I don't know, Volume Shooter attach themselves to post hooks. I've heard that before. So you're not creating balance, and you're not creating clear lines and clear guidelines to what badges do what attributes do what, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like for example, I have an inside out score, my lock build, with like the most popular build I got with like over 1,000 views on YouTube, right? Has a 56 interior defense, but I can stop paint beasts. That makes no sense. We shouldn't be able to find exploits in the game, because that's an exploit, right? And again, if attributes matter and greening matters in the next 2K, whether it's current gen or next gen, where are those lines? There needs to be clear lines and clear understanding of what does what and how those things are utilized in the game. And again, you should not be catering to competitive players. I repeat, you should not be catering to competitive players. That makes up 10% of the community. You cater to competitive players through competitive game modes and ranked game modes. But most of the community don't play 2K like that. You see what I'm saying? They're not trying to get as good as humanly possible. They're trying to have fun. So you got to understand your audience. Comp players, stage players, sweat players will find ways to exploit, break your game, and find things to make it easier. Your job as a developer, to me, is to find ways to create a game that one can't be exploited so damn much, i.e. a hop step, i.e. a moving crossover that is unrippable, and make a game that is enjoyable, not just for casual players, not just for competitive players, but in your esport league, make a game where you can't dribble glitch up and down the fucking court. It's not enjoyable to watch. I stopped watching the 2K league, and I have friends in the league. I've stopped watching it because everybody dribble glitches up and down the court. That's not basketball. That's not 2K. We talk about realism, or your team sim or team cheese. Well, when you can't even find a balance to not be able to break the damn game on the highest level possible, it makes gameplay so broken. And don't get me started on badges, interceptor, intimidator, fucking pogo stick, how small the court is. There are so many issues that intersect and affect the other. That it's not just about jump shooting, it's about everything else. The whole game needs a revamp, and I think 2K20 was a great example of why the game is fucking bad, dude. So, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but I hope you enjoy. I hope these questions sort of ring some thoughts, and I think on my next video, I'm going to post maybe some answers to these questions, and maybe some pro-am gameplay. I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. Hope you all are well. Thank you for listening. My name is chromeantennae, and again, wear your mask, wash your hands, don't be racist, transphobic, or homophobic. Thank you. Bye.
Oh. Sham, cancel on this nigga, bruh. Big Sham.